mastermind. You gotta be such a mystery for me. Blow my mind, I just can't deny. Replay in my mind of you, things you wanna do to me. Replay in my mind of you. You're gonna my reputation, I'm not gonna hide this. You're gonna my reputation, I'm not gonna hide. You go free. I love everything we'll be, 'cause you're gonna my reputation, my reputation.
I'm sorry, I'm not on. There, well, I'm still not on, but I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
I am present, and my name is Jimmy Dancy. Welcome to Brewtiful Morning, this June the 10th, 2022. Now, everybody surprised me with this beginning. They didn't tell me we was going to have a different opening, and so I'm very surprised, and thank you. But welcome again. Each Friday mornings, we try to bring to you some things that's happening in our community and have some outstanding guests, which is one of our specialties today. We'll introduce our guests here shortly, but thank you again for joining us. A lot of things happening. We wanted to bring you up to date. I just want to briefly give another shout out to RS Central and congratulations to their men and women's track team. This past year, the women won the state 2A championship. Also, it was just announced recently that as a result of their whole athletic program going on the year, they won the Wachovia Cup. What an outstanding achievement for that school. So we congratulate Mr. Rogers, the coaching staff, and all the students and staff out there. They're doing an outstanding job, and it's great to be in the town of Rutherford. So I'm going to let Doug and Meg know you're our managers today to get us started this morning, introduce our guests, and we'll go from there. Thank you again for joining us.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm excited. This is an episode I've been waiting on for a while. If y'all have been watching Brewtiful Mornings for the last couple months, you've been seeing in the comments somebody called Tasia Lowrance comment all kinds of stuff with connecting our youth and sports programs and just adult activities, better known as Coach T in the parentheses down there. I'm excited to have you on this morning. A lady that probably doesn't need a whole lot of introduction, but I'm going to tell y'all, we've got some movers and shakers in our community that are coming out, and Coach T is in the top of that list. She, her and I met probably about 2 years ago and kind of talked through some ideas, and she took those ideas and y'all jumped 2 feet into them and is just being an amazing powerhouse in our entire county, specifically, you know, in the Chase community, but now she's spreading out. She's doing some stuff here in Rutherfordton. And she has said from the beginning that it's all about everybody in the community, no matter about where it's housed. So, Coach T, I'm excited to have you on this morning. You have probably got 2 pages worth of stuff to cover, and that's just exciting for me. But good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much, Doug. Yeah, it's about 2 pages. I hear it all the time. Like, woo, Tasia, you have a lot going on. Do you have time to breathe? Absolutely, I do.
Well, you did tell us before we went live that Friday is like your planning day, like your day to kind of get ready for the wild storms of the next week. But tell us a little bit about, let's jump back 2 years ago. You had a vision for youth in our community. Tell us where that's kind of grown into and kind of what you're up to now.
Okay. My vision originally started in 2013. I was an office manager at a local mental health agency here in Rutherford County. A little backdrop about me. I graduated from Chase High School in 2004. I graduated with the top athlete award, the Forrest W.B. Hunt Scholar Athlete Award. I played every sport there was in that you could think of. Softball, volleyball, basketball, track and field. When I was little, I did swimming. So I've been playing sports since I was a little girl. And so I remember like being young and seeing how active the youth were. Like there were so many people in the community that had the youth going in sports. And so when I kind of went away from college and went to Winston-Salem State University, graduated with my bachelor's in rehabilitation studies in 2009. And I came back, and I only came back because my daddy had suffered from a massive heart attack and it damaged 85% of his heart. And so I came back home to be closer to my parents. And so when I did that, I noticed that, there was seemed to be a drop in the support of the youth in Rutherford County. And I remember man, the games are not packed like they used to be. The kids are not competitive like they used to be. So I was working with adolescents, and I remember this one kid coming in, and I asked him, I was like, what do you want to be when you grow older? And he was like, a football player. And I said, okay. I was like, well, how can you work on being a football player starting now? And he was like, well, I know that I need to get my act together, make good grades in school, and, practice at my skill. And I was like, you're absolutely right. So later on at lunch, I literally was just doodling around on a piece of paper, and I wrote down the initials at the time, HIAT. Don't know what it meant. I went to lunch, I came back, and I was looking at those letters, and I was like, what? Why did I write this down? And I wrote down hope in improving athletic talent. So that is how my business name originally came up, is in 2013, just with the initials, playing around with letters, and HNIAT is what it's called now. So I changed it up. And so it's dedicated to youth sports training ages 5 and up. And so it's for basketball, it's for volleyball, it's for softball, baseball, football, and cheerleading. So with that, I've been working with the youth. I've been working with the youth pretty much over the years. Like, I'll have a lot of my high school friends reach out to me. Hey, Tasia, can you help my daughter do this? Or can you help my son do this? And absolutely, I don't mind at all. And if anybody knows me, I'm a helper. You ask me for anything, I'm going to be there. I'm going to help you the best that I can. And so that's how everything got started. So last year I launched my first basketball program, and we're called the Hammerheads. And so I had a team. My organization was new in basketball, and I think we played against Far City. We played against Far City and Thomas Jefferson. And I can honestly say all of the kids in my program would have barely or never played basketball, or they played basketball, but they had never been shown how to play basketball.
Big difference there, right?
A major difference. And so what I found myself doing during practice time, instead of, jumping head in and teaching them how to run plays, I found myself stepping away from running plays, but actually teaching them how to play basketball. What is basketball? How many people are on the court? The different positions on the court, introducing them to the different positions that they need to know about the terminology of basketball. Working on their shooting form, working on defense, working on moving around, talking, letting them know, no matter what sport you play, communication is the key. Even in the workplace, communication is the key. And so just teaching them, the basics and the fundamentals of sports. And so that's how it went from there. Was, okay, there's a need. And so then I kind of just walked into the high school gym at Chase High School one day, and all of the girls thought I was a college player. And I was like, oh, thank you. But unfortunately.
Did you just start signing autographs? Did you bring a Sharpie with you and just start shining autographs? I'm here. I'm here. All right, let's go. Let's go.
And so when I walked in, they were like, what college do you play for? And I'm like, I don't. And then when they realized
you did though, right?
In college, I actually tried to do a walk-on sport, but my one of the coaches, she straight up told me, because I didn't live on campus in college, and I can absolutely tell everybody, please live on campus. It's going to be
Amen.
your greatest experience ever. Please live on campus.
That is
And I
great
was going to,
advice.
yes, yes, yes. You meet so many people. That's where you really meet a lot of your friends that's going to last forever is in college. You deal great bonds with absolutely everyone there. And just even with me living off campus, like I have a great deal of people that I know of. And a couple of those people went off to play in the NFL to play, professional football. So it's like I know it's a good thing to be connected with people on campus. And so I actually tried to do a walk on for track and field. But just kind of rewind, I actually had an opportunity in high school to run track at ECU, but I was not given like the next steps or wasn't told what I needed to do to make that scholarship become in full effect. So that was something that slipped through the cracks. And to this day, one thing that I was telling everybody is that's one of my biggest regret was not knowing what I needed to do next after being told, hey, ECU wants you in track. And I'm like, oh man. So I try to tell everybody now and just learn, what it is about the recruiting process, what it takes, how kids need to make sure that they're registered, make sure that their grades are right, make sure that they have the right ACT coding, so that all their test scores will automatically go to clearinghouse. And so a lot of parents and athletes don't know that there are steps that you have to take in order to get those scholarships or those opportunities from colleges. So that's my story on how I missed out on that opportunity. But I did try to walk on at Winston-Salem State, and she was like, "Well, I can do it, but it'll only be a partial scholarship." She said, "And not a full scholarship." She was like, "But that'll make it a little bit harder for you because you're not living on campus." And so that's the only reason why I did not run in college. However, that didn't stop me from running every day. Like, you go catch me at a cookout or a party, I'm going to be with all the kids. We're going to be foot racing. Let's race. So,
So kind of now, I mean, this summer you really jumped into a lot of programs. We were just talking before we went on that, I mean, you've got some basketball programs going on, you've got some running programs going on, talking about running. And then, so let's talk a little bit about those, but then you've also got a special event coming up over ICC that I think Mayor and Ginger, I saw Ginger was on with us. Maybe they're excited about it. So, and I know he's probably not excited about running, but maybe we can talk a little bit more about that. So tell us about the kind of youth programs you've got going on right now, and then maybe one or two that are coming up in the future. And then we'll kick over. I think RJ's already letting the cat out of the bag about the next one, but let's talk about youth programs real quick on, kind of sports, what you got going on.
yes. So I'm all about teaching. I'm all about back to the basics and making sure that the youth understand sports. So what I've done was originally my vision was to have a basketball outdoor summer program. But things didn't work out as well. So what I did was I turned it into basketball training sessions. So any youth in the county that want to learn how to play basketball, want to learn, enhance their skills, every Monday and Wednesday at Crestview Park. And it just started Monday through July the 27th, starting at 5:30. If it's 95 degrees or higher with no breeze, then it starts at 6:30. But I do basketball training sessions. So it's back to the basics, learning how to dribble, learning how to pass, learning how to shoot. Three things that I really, really focus on is self-confidence, character development, and teamwork. Because I learned that dealing with the youth, they lack a lot of confidence in themselves. And one thing that I do is I push confidence. And any kid that's been in my program, they know that they cannot say the word can't. Can't is not an option. and they've learned to really have confidence in themselves. So Mondays and Wednesdays at Crestview Park, and it's only $35, and that's for 14 sessions. Your youth will learn how to play basketball. Currently, right now, I have about 5 boys that I work with on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a beginners track and field youth club. And so basically, I'm introducing the youth to track, and everything that I do starts at age 5 and up. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30, starting at Crestview Park. Well, I take that back. On Tuesdays, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We do morning sessions, not at Crestview, at Far City Dunbar, at the track. We do track and field. So a lot of times what I've learned is when youth run, they like to run like karate chopping. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm working on their form and their technique, and just instead of working on chopping, just work on bringing your arms straight up, your chin to thigh, and teaching them the proper techniques of running. So we have a good time out there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We just started that as well this week, and that runs through July the 28th. That's also $35 per athlete. And let's just say we have some runners coming up. I timed them for the first time yesterday, and just in different events. And by the time that they get this thing down and they understand what it takes, we're going to be some competition athletes coming up. And so I have that going on. So that's my Monday through Thursday. And then upcoming community events, I have an adult prom, and that's on July the 9th at Isothermal Community College. And it is Race Through the Decades. So it's the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. I'm always full of ideas, and I'm always trying to think of ways to bring the community together, because my business slogan is, once we connect, we never forget. And I'm all about connecting people with people and connecting resources, but also connecting the people to the resources in the county, because there is a great deal of resources that is in this county that people need to know about. There's also resources in this county that people do not know about. And so that was one thing that I learned last year, just by doing a lot of face-to-face is, I love RJ.
RJ is rolling in on this. Oh man.
I love RJ.
And I think he got the mayor excited. I saw his eyes perk up when you were talking about 50s and 60s in the prom. I think his eyes were rolling into it. So he's ready. He's
and
ready.
A lot of people were like, because it is a 21 and older event. And I said 21 and older because, that gives like a 3-year gap for those that have not been or never been to prom. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and it's like, thank you for this opportunity. I never got the chance to go to my prom. And so now I get to experience a prom, and I'm like, oh man, like, come on, like, I'm excited, And so I think that is just the amazing thing is getting that second opportunity to come to prom. But not that as well, but you can dress in your decade, you can dress in the 50s, you can dress in the 60s, you can dress in the 70s, however you want to come out. Let's have a good time, create lots of memories. There will be food that will be served. There will be no alcohol, just being 100% honest. I've had a lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, no, because the only thing it takes is one mistake and it's associated with my name and my business. And I was like, no, I can't do that. It's just going to be a clean, fun event. I have DJ Marky B, who's going to be the DJ.
Hey, well, I mean, Adam, wait till I dust off my blue Harry Dunn suit.
Uh, and so, yeah, so tickets are available. They can be purchased on Eventbrite. And also I have a flyer with where you can scan a QR code and purchase your tickets as well too. And so another fun, amazing thing that I have going on Sundays, I have an adult softball league. And so currently we have 4 teams. So we have Varsity Crushers, we have the Underdogs, we have the Punishers, and we have Rocco Bustin' Balls. So we are currently looking for more adult softball teams. So if there's any adults out here that want to come out and play, get a team together and come out and play softball on Sundays, we do that at Crow Park in Far City. Just let me know so that I can coordinate the schedule and get you added in. These adults, like it's amazing of how many connections I've made off of that. It's just being able to connect with different people just to get everybody out and going again, because being locked in the house for 2 years with COVID, it killed a lot.
Yeah, it really did.
It killed a lot of dreams and visions, and it kind of got everybody in the way of, no, I'm just going to stay at home. No, let's not stay at home. Come on, let's get out and play. So we play in the rain, we play in the heat. We listen for the thunder, but we also look for the lightning. So
Yeah,
if it's not lightning, we're out there playing.
It's funny too, because like kids, the assumption of youth is like, oh, they just want to sit in front of a game console or sit in front of whatever. But they may be reluctant for like the first 37 seconds of being outside, but like after the first minute, they're ready to go and they don't want to go back inside. Yep. It's just that push of getting out. It's just that little bit of push. So
yes,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, the best way for people to keep up with you, we shared your social media. Shared your social media Facebook page and your website. But kind of for those that are watching that are curious about some of the details on the adult prom or maybe the basketball or just stuff you've got coming up, adult softball. Any other way that they should be reaching out to you other than Facebook or your website?
Yeah, they can always email me. I have my email address is hniatllc@gmail.com. My cell phone number is out there for the world. I don't mind for people to call or text me either, which is 828-748-5207. And those are different ways that you can get in contact with me. You can follow my personal page on Facebook, message me. I'm very quick at responding. I'm currently right now awaiting for a cell phone because yesterday at track practice, my son decides to use my cell phone like a basketball. Yeah, and screen is completely shattered. Yesterday was just a bad day with my phone. It wouldn't charge, and I'm just going to different cell phone companies, and they're like, yeah, it'll be Monday. And I finally got it to charge, and I get to track practice, and my 2-year-old decides, oh, well, since mommy's phone stops playing music, I'm just going to bounce it around like a basketball. So, yeah, I'm completely phoneless right now. So. Text messaging, phone calls is not.
At least at this point you can laugh about it. At least you can laugh about it because kids are going to be kids. I've been in that same boat. I've been in that same boat before. Kids are kids, man. You've got to laugh about it at some level.
I was just like, really? Like you have your monster truck, you have a basketball, like, you have these cones that you kick after I set up. And I was just like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And so another interesting thing about me, so before 2022 hit, there were so many things that was just happening, not only to me, but to people around the world. I kind of went in November, I decided I was going to go into 2022 also with the saying of, the year of the unexpected, the unprepared, the prepared, and the expected. So that's something that I say. So last year I wanted to do football and cheerleading, but I did not or would not have had any leagues to play against. So I'm also like the assistant coach at Chase High School. So I'm the assistant basketball coach, assistant volleyball coach, and then I helped out with track and field. So one day I was sitting down at the track talking to the coaches, and this man came up behind, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you today, sir?" And he was like, "I'm great. How are you?" And I was like, "I'm really good." So I met the coaches, and we finished talking, and one of the coaches called my name, and he was like, "Wait." He was like, "Are you Tasia Lowrance?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he was like, "Hey," he said, "I'm Andy Lovelace." He was like, "I'm over Chase Youth Football and Cheerleading." And I was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." It was my first time ever meeting him. And so he said, "I'm going to be stepping down from the Chase Youth Football and Cheerleading." And he said, "Would you be interested in taking over this program?" And it took me like a whole second, like to really comprehend what he said. And I was like, did he just, well, and I didn't know how to say it, but I was like, absolutely. So what I've done is I am now the executive director of Chase Youth Sports Incorporated. So what I did was I took it away from just being about football and cheerleading, and now I'll have to offer every sport in the Chase District area, but also too, the only sport that's in the district that would be by district is football. But being able to expand throughout the county and give the youth opportunities to come to different camps will go through Hope and Improving Athletic Talent. But any youth that would be interested in playing sports, it would go through Chase Youth Sports Incorporated.
Awesome.
So also too, I have that under my belt, which I'm really excited to rebuild the Chase District area in sports. So that's a great opportunity that's going to be coming to the Chase District as well too.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm watching. So I don't know how the comments are when people are watching real time on Facebook, but through StreamYard on our side, Tasia, we can see the comments coming in like in real time here. And so RJ is just all over you today with some comments that are driving me funny. So
RJ,
girl, coach, I just don't know. I think one of the things I'm learning more and more that we talk is I just don't even know how you keep yourself straight. I mean, how do you make sure that you're showing up at Chase Middle School for volleyball practice and not at Forest City Dunbar for track practice? I mean, you've got so much going on there. It sounds like there's like 6 of you. Like, do you remember the movie? I think it was called Multiplicity. It had I forget the actor's name, but the storyline was he duplicated himself like 7 times. There should be like 7 of you. Do you have more of you hidden in that closet back there? I mean, how are you keeping up with all this?
I absolutely wish, but believe it or not, I am extremely organized. So I literally, oh, thank you, Alicia. I literally write down everything that I have going on Monday through Sunday. And I look at that time, and I kind of look at the times that I break, that I need a break. So I always make sure that I have a day or two just for myself, because I think it's important. Self-care is extremely important, to make sure that you're able to relax, breathe, and just step away from what you're doing so that you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get burnt out. But also too, I love what I do. I absolutely love working with the youth. And so I think that is just, being able to give back to the community and being able to give back to the youth. That's just one amazing thing that I do. So speaking of giving back, so last year I started the first annual back to school kickback at Crestview Park. And thanks to the community, we came together and we gave out 165 backpacks with school supplies. Um, I got you, RJ. With my working in mental health for 18 years, like you learn how to relax, and you learn different techniques. So thanks to every single therapist that I've worked with for the past 18 years, thanks to every psychiatrist that I've worked with, nurse practitioners, LPNs, directors, vice presidents, CEOs. They've all played a great aspect in my life, with, making sure, or not only that, but just watching them create programs to help the doctors or help the employees to relax during. So I take advantage of all information. But last year we gave out 165 backpacks with school supplies in them. So again, this year I'm having the second annual back to school kickback, which will also be at Crestview Park. And I'm currently accepting backpacks, school supplies, anything that will benefit not only the youth in the county, but the teachers as well too. So there was a lot of school supplies that I had given back to some of the schools in the county. So this year, my goal is to give 500 backpacks with school supplies. And so I firmly believe that can happen with the help of the community. So if there's anyone that wants to help contribute to this, you can send me a message or drop off school supplies. Last year, I couldn't even walk in my living room because I had backpacks and school supplies scattered all over the place, but it was organized. I had it by, pencils and with markers, crayons. And so, I'm a
So how
big
did
at
you
giving
keep how
back.
did you keep your 2-year-old from throwing all that stuff around?
Well, at the time he was one, so he was
So this year
crawling. So
you gotta be on double duty. He's gonna be throwing pencils in with the pens and
now see, now he's at that point where I can be like, okay, Micah, get the pencil and let's put it in the backpack. So one thing that I try to do is I have two boys, so I'm a two-time boys mom. I have a 7-year-old. His name is Malachi. He goes to Far City Dunbar. A major shout out to him. He is extremely intelligent. I believe he scored like a 303 on his math score, and then like a 298 in reading. So he's for, oh God, I forgot. He's going to the second grade. Jesus Christ. For a first grader, I think that's really great. I forgot what grade my child was in. That's pretty bad.
see, I knew at some point you were human. I knew at some point in all this that there was some human back in there that
Oh man, listen, when it comes to like my kids, like how old they are, and I'd be like, wait, and then I'll call them by the wrong names, but they know who I'm talking to. So
they
I
can tell
call
by
them
the tone in your voice which kid you're talking to. They don't.
right,
I do it to my
right.
girls all the time. I'll throw out Callie and I'm talking to Emery, but she knows in my voice that that's who I'm going for.
Yeah, I
Doug,
call them my M
Go
boys.
ahead, Mayor.
let me speak a few things about Tasha. She and I met some time back, and I know
Hmm.
a lot of our conversation this morning has been concerning sports related activities and things that got going on at different parks. And it boils down to uh, what are you willing, how hard are you willing to work to be successful? And that it not only deals in sports, but it also deals in life in general. It
Hmm.
does not take very long to talk to Tasha that you can realize she is committed and she's dedicated to not only achieve things in her own life, but also to let our community be successful in whatever it is that we want to achieve. So we're very fortunate to have Tasha here in our area, and I'm thrilled that she's part of our group this morning to talk. And I'm glad that people are getting to meet her and enjoy what she does. And I invite you to step out and ask her if you got some questions of how to be a part of what she's got going on. I've got a 4-year-old that will be joining you maybe next summer. So I'm excited even about that. So Tasia, thank you for what you do in our community and the commitment that you're willing to do for our whole community, not just parts of it. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Mayor,
Thank you.
Mayor, I know when we got on, Tasha had probably 2-3 pages worth of stuff. I think she only got through about a paragraph, but you've got some announcements too. You've got some stuff that you know is going on in the community. I want to make sure we get time to hit some of the announcements that you had for this morning, because they're just as important and just as impactful for our community to gather.
Yeah, I want to just remind everyone about the American Legion Post 74. They're celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, and they'll be having a celebration. I think it's on the 18th. It'll be next Saturday, and I think from 16 up in the Green Hill community, 8 to 10, somewhere in that neighborhood. But we're very fortunate to live in such a community as we do, very history oriented, and I congratulate the American Legion for their continued service over 100 years. So that's great on their part.
It's nice. 100.
100 years. That's amazing.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
Maybe you have some other stuff I think going on in
town. Well, before we get to next week, Magnolia, we got some stuff going on tonight, right?
We do.
Tonight, Kiwanis Park.
Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to get it pulled up. But we have another movies in the park tonight. So it's going to be start around dark. And this time we're playing Rio. And we're going to have a little sneak peek into what the movie is because I've never seen it before. So
Rio is amazing.
Blue isn't like other birds.
Ew.
He never learned how to fly. But he's about to discover how rare he really is. Blue is the last male of his kind.
I have a kind?
The only other blue macaw is in Rio de Janeiro.
Brazil?
Rio de You arrived in time for Carnival. It's the biggest party in the world. Fly. I'm gonna make you look irresistible.
It's like an angel who's getting really close.
You're standing on my throat.
Oh, I think they need a little help. Okay, I had nothing to do with that. But it's actually a pretty good song. Naturally. Sing it, Mom.
From the creators of Ice Age.
Wait, what are you doing?
Getting out of here.
Why? This cage is awesome.
Oh, this is great. I'm chained to the only bird in the world who can't fly. Is there anything else I need to know?
Yes, I can't fly, I pick my beak, and once in a while I pee in the bird bath. Wow,
In the wildest place on earth,
this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
he will find the courage
See what you've been missing?
Yeah.
to follow his dreams.
Come on, yes!
All right, Blue, you're flying. Sort of. Not really.
Last of the species here.
Whoa.
Still a spider on my back.
It's just a leaf. Leaf.
Told you.
I know I'm not a pretty bird.
Here you go.
Lucky for you, you know Raphael. Raphael knows everyone.
Are you sure this is safe?
There's nothing to it.
Now, if something goes wrong, scream really loud, because I can't hear too good with this thing on.
Rio, don't worry, he's a professional.
Oh, I can't really see out of this thing either. Awkward.
That's going to be hilarious. I think there's going to be a lot of laughter tonight at Kiwanis Park. Starts around sunset, so This will probably be one of our later movies with just the time of year, so 8:40 or so, 8:45. But rumor is there's going to be some food and stuff at the park too, Magnolia.
Absolutely. We have to make it the best time that we can. So there is going to be, Dobros is going to be joining us. So you can come and get your pizza. And then we also have Matt's Munchies. So he does more of like the sweet treats, the funnel cakes and everything like that. So he'll be there tonight too. So definitely come hungry because there's going to be all sorts of stuff. And the Norris Public Library is going to be set up giving out popcorn and also giving out information and materials for their summer reading program because that is about to kick off, I believe.
Yeah, and I want to throw something out. I want to throw something out real quick too. We kind of mentioned it last week. I mentioned it in the town council meeting, and I want to mention it again on Brewtiful Mornings because it's not getting any better. So, unfortunately, and we're not the only victim. So I want to throw out our friends over in Forest City. They've been experiencing the same thing too. As the town, we're here to be stewards of your public investment, meaning we take the collective resources of the community to try to do a collective good. One of those collective goods is Crestview Park. Another is Kiwanis Park. Over in Forest City, the Pops Amphitheater with the splash pads. And over the last month or so, we've really seen an uptick in vandalism, destruction, and just sheer disrespect for public property. And I'm not talking about incidental vandalism here, folks. I'm talking about vandalism that's costing our taxpayers thousands of dollars to repair. And I just want to say that these are your parks. We're here to be stewards of them. If you see anything that makes you believe that somebody is up to no good, please let our police departments know. Let somebody know because this cannot continue to go on the way it's going on. Because what's going to happen is these beautiful investments are going to be forced to be closed for all of us to enjoy. And so I just say that we had more acts of vandalism this week at both of our community parks. I know Forest City has been struggling with this as well. It's just a sad day and age. And so maybe it's an opportunity for those that are out there that are doing this to learn more about the respect, to learn more about who actually pays for these investments and keeps the investments up. So if you see something going on, please let us know because we want to provide a high quality experience for our community. And that's becoming very difficult with repeated vandalisms that we've got going on. And it's just not a need for it. It's just not a need. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I did want to say that if
Doug,
you see anything out there, please let us know. Go ahead, Mayor.
let me stand up there on your box with you. I encourage you, if you see or suspect something, let us know about it. This is not necessarily town property, it's your property. And we're going to try to protect it to the best we possibly can for the enjoyment of those people that want to enjoy our park. So take a look when you travel through those areas. And as Doug says, if you see something that you not feel good about, let us know. And we'll check into it and see what's going on. But this is your property, so let's try and protect it as best we can. As Tasha said, we got some beautiful parks, but we want to keep it that way for everybody to enjoy. So I stand with Doug that we're disappointed that people will destroy on purpose some things in our community. It's hard to understand. Don't know that we'll ever understand. But we'll try and stop it and control it the best of our ability. But we do need your help.
And I have to say that, like, whenever I think of vandalism, it's like spray painting something. But like this vandalism is taking it like 12 steps further with it's just like true and genuine property damage. And we're having to replace a lot of like very expensive items. Like, I don't know how much you want to get into like the details of it, Doug, but it's extremely intense.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details because I don't want anybody to go out there and copycat things, but I'll just say it's it's a place where I just don't understand as a parent. I don't want to point a finger at youth because not all of this is youth. Some of it obviously is youth and is picked up since school has got out, but it's not all youth. And so I'm not trying to point a finger there. I just don't understand some of the sheer disrespect for public property. I just don't understand it. When we walk into something that's actually ours, when you walk into Crestview Park, that's your park. You would not do the same level of vandalism at your home that you would do in your park. And to me, I was raised that public infrastructure is part of our property, that we value it. We have pride in it. We have collective ownership in it. And when we see the things we see in the parks, it personally, it disturbs me, and I hope it disturbs our community. I'll get off my soapbox and just say that if you see anything, please call 911. Please call our officers and let them know. Let them check it out. They can't be in the parks all the time for the safety of our community, obviously, but we can dispatch folks over there immediately to at least talk to whoever you may see to have a better understanding. So I'll get off my soapbox, and I just thank the community for watching out at a little bit higher level.
And even just to take it a step further, like if you guys need something to do, just send me a message. We can do things. I'm full of ideas. There's a lot of things that I'm sitting on that I have not launched yet. So just know that, there's a lot of things coming forward. Jump rope club, a big brother, big sister club, a single parents club. So there's a lot of things that I'm still sitting on. But I just haven't launched a lot of my things yet because I need, if I get me one building that's large enough to where
they
that
can challenge their creative output in a new way. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes. And even if it comes to destroying, if you guys want to destroy things, maybe we can work with different businesses and we can work on destroying and taking down property that needs to be taken down in a good way. Or if there's artwork and you want to draw or spray paint on something, maybe we can connect with businesses that don't mind for their businesses to have graffiti written on the walls. Because there is a lot of creativity, and a lot of times when it comes to spray painting and things like that, it's people really expressing their art. And that would be pretty awesome if we actually had a place in Rutherford County or a wall or a building where they can actually go and express their, their talent and their artwork. So maybe, hey, whatever you guys want to sit down and talk about, let's sit down and talk about and work on it. Let's change this negative and put it all into positivity, because that's what I'm all about, being positive.
I love that idea. And matter of fact, I was, like Magnolia said, the spray painting, really, those are, we get those every once in a while, but that's really not what we're up against right now. But I love that idea. There's actually a street artist, I believe he's out of Charlotte, Gastonia area. And matter of fact, it's the gentleman that did the street art in Forest City, the Change mural in Forest City. One of the things that he does is he actually has huge panels of wall in his, I believe it's in his yard or his studio, and he just will spray paint something, and then almost like a challenge rock kind of thing, like spirit rocks at school. So you paint it, it's up there for a few days, and then somebody comes in and paints in behind it. It's no disrespect. That's what's meant to be. I would love to work with you to see if there's a spot we could do something like that in our community. I think that would be an amazing resource for our artists to do that and have them a place where they feel like they can go and there's no shame there at all.
Right.
We did get a comment come in on the trees, and so thanks, Kevin. We did unfortunately have to cut down 3 trees down at Kiwanis Park, and what happened was during the construction of the park, I believe the root systems for those were disturbed, and unfortunately they did not bloom back out this year. 2 of the trees were extremely close to the adventure playground and started to drop limbs in the park. And that's a very dangerous situation for our youth that are playing there. Matter of fact, we actually had a report of a limb almost grazed the back of a child. And So we made the immediate decision to cut those trees down. Unfortunately, we're in the heat of summer. Like Tasia said before, when it's 90 something degrees outside, 95 degrees and humidity, now is not the time to be planting trees. We have ordered 2 6-inch caliper trees that are going to be about 30 feet tall when they come in. Those won't get planted until later this fall when it's safe to move those root systems. Those will go in right around the playground so we can get some shade back next year. But starting here in the next week or two, Paul Rodriguez, who is a local chainsaw artist, is going to be coming in and doing some chainsaw art on those 3 stumps that are left around the playground. Really, really unique chainsaw art, and he's going to kind of take care of those. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I think I showed a picture a couple weeks ago of what one of them was going to look like. I can't remember which one it was because there's 3 of them, but they're just really cool. It's going to be a fun way to kind of take something that was negative, turn it into something positive, and then we'll get some shade back next year around the playground with those 2 big trees that are coming in. So thanks, Kevin, for saying that. It was an unfortunate situation, but Tasia, circling back, let's connect offline. I would love to find a spot in town that we can do the graffiti wall. I think that would be a really cool thing for our community.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of artists in this county. And even it would be really great if like I don't know how, Rutherford County schools would work, but there's a lot of artists, hidden talent in these in our schools. And, for sure, I have one that's my mentee. And oh my gosh, this young man is beyond talented. It takes him less than 45 minutes to draw an extremely well detailed picture. And I'm just like, gosh, we have to find a way to expose the youth. The youth in this county need more exposure.
Have you connected with Michaela Beam? She's the art teacher at RS Central. Have you met her?
No, I haven't made my way around to every school yet, but my goal is to make my way. I've made my way with at the middle school at Chase Middle School. So I've connected with that art teacher, but I would absolutely love to get out there and connect with every school, because there is so many hidden talents and opportunities that, like I said, the youth need this exposure. They need exposure.
Yeah, we connected with Michaela this year throughout the school year, and the art classes at RS Central did some amazing work for the town and for the holiday season and even past that. And so oddly enough, I was actually texting with her yesterday. I was like, we need to get together. I got ideas. I know you got ideas. And so she's actually taking full advantage of her summer vacation. She's going back to see her parents and then to Yellowstone, but we've already put a date on the calendar in July to put a plan together for community art out of RS Central next year. So I'm excited to work with her. And you're right. I can't draw. Like, you're going to get a stick figure, maybe some solid lines, but some of the stuff they come up with, I'm just blown away. I'm like, this ought to be in an art museum somewhere.
I learned yesterday, one of my athletes, she was like, Coach T, I'm going to make you a necklace out of flowers. And I was like, how do you make a necklace out of flowers? So she went and plucked up like the little flowers, and she literally split it down the middle, and she made me a necklace out of flowers. And so I have it hanging up in my car. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the little cutest thing ever. So like I said, the youth out here, they're so full of ideas. They're so creative. And it's just like a lot of them just need that outlet to be able to express themselves. Even if it's poetry, like I don't think that we have poetry night. And I love poetry. Oh my God. I used to write poetry a long time ago. Don't tell nobody. But just being able to have outlets for the youth, and not only the youth, but the adults too, because there are a lot of adults with hidden talents that are in this county that, that needs to be exposed. Like, I really want to do Apollo, because I tried to do it last year at the back to school kickback. So Showtime at the Apollo, so that, everyone can come out and express their talent. Just to give them, there's people out here that want to see you. There's, you never know what will come out of exposing yourself to the people in your county. And there could be great opportunities that come from it as well too. So.
All right. So just to recap, this might be one of our longest.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. These things don't have a time limit. Like we're not like on national TV or anything. We don't get like commercial breaks or capped out. Magnolia's the producer, and as long as she's got coffee, we keep going.
Mhm.
So just to recap, and some stuff I didn't even get a chance to go over yet. First, before we recap, Dive Bomber Vintage is having their grand opening next Friday. So a week from today, 11 a.m. They're a new business, kind of an antique style mall with different vendors in there, all kind of geared towards kind of war and army memorabilia, but then also kind of that propaganda style, like we want you kind of images and old signage. And they've just got some really cool stuff in there. But Dive Bomber Vintage, and then Jesse James Railroad Cafe is also in there too. And so they're having a grand opening next Friday, the 17th at 11 a.m. So hope to see everybody out for that. If you hadn't been by Dive Bomber, go check it out. For those that don't know where it is, it's in the old Ace Hardware building, which is kind of in the shopping mall where behind Fred's used to be, where in and behind Truist Bank, former BB&T, kind of in that area. Go check them out. They've got some really unique stuff. Just excited to kind of go. Every time you go in there, it seems like there's something different. But that's Friday the 17th at 11. Next Saturday, the American Legion out on Highway 64 up in the Green Hill community is celebrating their 100 years of service. Tasia, when is the last day to buy prom tickets?
The last day the tickets go off sale is June 24th.
So you got June 24th is your last day to get your prom tickets. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, class of 99, best class ever. I mean, it's the last class of the century. Class of 99, 2000, 2010, all of it.
Yep.
No matter when. Come
It's
on out.
through the decades. Yes.
Yeah. And then movies tonight, Rio, pizza.
And Chris also commented, so good morning, Chris. She does yoga in the park on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. So donation based. It's a great time. It is such a good way to just like get up and get energized for the day. So definitely come out and do yoga with Chris tomorrow morning.
And Kevin, thanks for the reminder. I had it on my list here. I want to kind of give a shout out to Forest City. They've got their Cherry Bounce Festival going on this weekend. I believe it kicks off today. And they've got activities planned all weekend. I encourage you to go check that out. And I know gas is $5 a gallon or something crazy, but the Cherry Bounce Trail that starts in Rutherford kind of follows the old Moonshiner Trail up through Forest City and up into Golden Valley. Take time to go through that this weekend, but there's got a lot of activity going on in Forest City. Check them out at Forest City Events, or I believe Cherry Bounce Festival has its own Facebook page too. Check them out. They've got a full lineup of music and fun things going on. Mainly, I think they've got a kickoff tonight. You really want to come see Rio first though, and then head off to Forest City. But yeah, they got a fun weekend of stuff. So hopefully they have good weather and a good time down in Forest City.
Yeah, and I just want to shout Kevin out really fast. Thank you so much for bringing like some of the concerns that you've heard around the community. I think I saw like the post that you were talking about the people getting concerned about us cutting trees down in Kiwanis Park. And I know that somebody mentioned like Brewtiful Mornings that we talked about it. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for getting the information out that we share. And please, like if anybody has any questions, definitely refer to them to us. Let them comment on our like in the comments, and we will absolutely kind of get all of the information that we can out there. So
or you'll end up like RJ and Tasia, like you just keep commenting on Brewtiful Mornings, then we just bring you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just bring you on for the best show ever.
And and Ashley, thank you. Oh, let's see. Ashley, thank you so much for watching Brewtiful Mornings too. We hope that you come back next week because it's every Friday morning at 8:30.
Yep.
Now, Mayor, we do have some sad news. Are you not going to be with us next week? Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm unavailable.
Unavailable next week. So be back with the Doug and Magnolia show. We're gonna have a special guest on. You're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be a fun day. We'll talk a little bit more. We had some other things we wanted to talk about today, but we know everybody else has got stuff to do on Friday. Tasia, you got to relax. You got to get that week planned out. Seriously, let's catch up. Let's catch up. Let's set a time. I do want to follow up with you on the idea to have some creative outlet in the community. I think that's a great resource for us, and appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work. You can tell that there's passion there. You can tell that you really enjoy what you're doing, and it shows. Keep it up. We're just proud of you, and anything we can do to be a resource for you beyond Beautiful Mornings, you know we're here for you.
And I want to thank Tasia again for being with us. You're always, as open door policy here, you're able to come in and be with us anytime. So, and look for ways for we can work together on some projects. So thank you again for being with us.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And Tasia, I just want to say that you are an inspiration for for kids to look up to in regards to just like who to grow up and be, but like really an inspiration for me and other people who are trying to build community here. Like you do such an awesome job with it. You build so many connections, and I couldn't be any more thankful about just being able to cross your path one day. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But most important,
one more time. Oh, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No. So I said most important, like thank each of you for, the opportunity to be able to, help me get the word out there. Because like I said, exposure, a lot of people don't know, or a lot of people may learn about my programs. And then they're like, oh man, I wish I would have known about this earlier. But just know that everything that I do, no matter what I do, is all for the youth. It's all, I have a passion for the youth, I always have. So just know that I'm here to help each and every one of you. And again, adults love to play softball. You want to team together, just send me a message, and we play Sunday, matter of fact. So send me a message with your team name and we'll get you out there scheduled.
Awesome.
I love it.
For those that tuned in late, we've got a special announcement today. So if you didn't get the chance to watch when we got online, we have a new intro and exit video, thanks to our wonderful producer. And so with that, Mayor, unless you've got anything else, I'm going to say roll the exit.
Roll the exit.